Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are here for another one of your questions about work, and I am like giddy today. I know we have Katie Stanton, who has, after a career at Twitter and other tech companies and starting #Angels, evolved to being a fully fledged, just because I do it, don't think it's important, fund manager. And today is day 143. For those of us who are joining you for the first time, we do one question every day about work. And I'm Roy, and I'm a startup investor in the future of work and a proud LP. I think I can say, yeah, proud LP in Moxxie, which Katie leads. And so the question for today is, if you have experience as just doing angel investing, some people think, well, some people think, well, I could never do a fund. That's like a totally different world. And some people think, oh, it's just like angel investing, only doing a little bit more. And we'd just love to hear, as you've transitioned from successful angel, and you can talk about some of your companies, to successful fund manager, what advice, or not advice in this case, do you have for your past self?
Yeah, well, first, thank you for having me, and thank you for backing Moxxie. Very proud to be in your orbit. Angel investing is a privilege, right? To be able to have the time, to have the capital, to be able to back founders, building something that's important. And when I started, I had a very, very small check. I didn't have extra money to lose. And it is very difficult to do these things. So I started by backing people that I knew, that I had conviction in, that I knew just would manifest success in one way or the other. And over time, I was very lucky, again, to be able to work with a VC to become a scout. And that gave me access to a lot of extra capital. And at that time, I was like, what is this secret in Silicon Valley? There are VCs out there that'll give me money to invest.
Actually, can you demystify that for half a second? Because people hear about being a scout, sort of like after somebody becomes a scout, they often tell you.
Right.
That joke about how do you know if somebody's a vegan is like, they'll tell you within 5 minutes kind of thing.
I'm a vegan.
Right. Vegan. Fair enough. By the way, thank you for your work on behalf of our planet. How actually do people become scouts? Like, really, how does that work? Did you ask a bunch of VCs? Did somebody reach out to you? Like, how did that happen?
It is very much inside baseball. So I encourage anyone who's interested in becoming an angel investor to knock on the door of your friendly VC and just raise your hand and say, I would like to be a scout for you. Do you have a scout program? So there are some VCs that have scout programs, some that don't. And maybe it's even better to go to the ones that don't and say why you should be the first particular scout. And I was fortunate because the VC that I worked with knew me because they were on the board of Twitter, and I got to know them very well, and they approached me. And at first I was like, what's the catch? Like, there is no catch. So it's a great way for VCs to have eyes and ears on the ground. They can't see everything. So they work with people that they trust who have diversified networks. So if you feel like you're an outsider Silicon Valley, use that as a strength. If you're in Chicago, if you're in Nashville, if you're in Denver, like, that is an asset. So being a different set of eyes and ears is really important.
So you became a scout, and then I interrupted you in your story.
Oh, no, that's okay. And so it just gave me more capital and opportunity to participate. So I ended up along the way investing in about 40 early stage companies like Airtable and Carta and Cameo. And I just loved it. And I realized how much I love investing. I love working with early stage founders and helping them succeed and trying to find product market fit, and decided that, it's great to be an angel, but I wanted to be a big girl investor too and write bigger checks. And so decided to go out and raise my first fund, Moxxie Ventures. Again, thank you for being an LP. And it really is, it's a privileged profession. The idea that you can spend your time, your energy, your networks and experiences to help others succeed.
Yeah, we are really fortunate to get to do it. How have you found that the work, or how you think about it, companies or the job, is different now compared to when you were angel investing, either with your own capital or with a venture firm's scout money? Like, what is it, just the same, or is it different in some ways?
It's different. I think the biggest difference is that I feel the weight of responsibility to return capital for my LPs and my investors. And many of my investors are using their capital for very worthy things, supporting teachers and hospitals and healthcare. So, the stakes are high, and I don't want to make any mistakes. So I do think about that differently. I am writing much bigger checks. I don't have, this is my day job and my night job where I spend as much time as I possibly can to, help our founders, again, reach their product market fit and hire and do all these great things. So a lot of the same skills are there, but I think the responsibility is much higher.
Yeah, I mean, one way that I've seen that responsibility express itself, and I'm just curious if you agree, is when you're an angel, you kind of you're not accountable to anyone other than yourself, meaning you can back whatever, just because you have like a good feeling in your stomach, you can back somebody. Right. And you can also do a wide range of things. You want to invest in somebody's Series D, you can do that. And as a fund manager, part of the responsibility I've found is the responsibility of explanation, of just being able to tell somebody, well, this is why it's consistent with my strategy. So it often results in a lot more discipline about being consistent about something, and just legibility. Like I need to be able to explain why I made these choices, even if sometimes it really is about a learned intuition sense. Do you have that feeling about how the responsibility expresses itself for you?
Absolutely. The accountability is real. And, I make myself write an investment memo to myself, to my future self, to make sure that, I have conviction. I've done the research, I've done reference checks. And those are things that you don't typically do as an angel investor. You don't really have that luxury.
You have the resources to do it.
Exactly. So, that accountability is real and the responsibility is real. And I think that helps me up my game and becoming a better investor.
Yeah. I mean, I love that insight. And I really, it's funny you said thank you for us being an LP, but I feel like the thank you goes the other way, which is you've allowed us to be in business with you. And I think in the best, in like the best business relationships, it's like you don't know who should be thanking whom. And I want to put a bookmark, by the way, on a conversation for another time, because I'd love to have you back as two of the only VCs. And I used to be the only one I could find, and maybe this is just I didn't look hard enough, but who have actually worked in government before and have a view on like what should startup founders know about how to engage with governments, politics, all this stuff. But we'll save that for another day. Okay. One not advice question at a time. And reminder, it's not advice, even though I misspoke and asked you for your advice, because we're just sharing our experiences and every person's going to have to find their own path to it. And Katie, thank you for joining us and letting us work together. And I'm just looking forward to more. So to be continued.
It's my honor and privilege. Thank you so much.